Hello and welcome to Horror Rewind. This is Kelly Florence,
And I'm Meg Hopdahl.
and today we're talking about blood relatives. Friends, this is not an ad, but it should be. They should pay us. Do you have Shudder? If you don't, get Shudder. You can be watching movies like Blood Relatives over
I
Thanksgiving weekend,
know.
like we did.
We were just having drinks with our friend Caitlin, and I was basically a shill for Shudder and was forcing her to get it. So, I mean, they should sponsor this, I think. We do. I mean, I'm ready. Send
Yeah,
the money, Shudder.
we we freaking love this streaming app, but also we freaking love this movie. And
Yeah.
the premise, it's so clever. It's estranged father-daughter vampire Jewish horror comedy. I mean, what else do you want?
What else do you want? I thought it was I think this is a good movie to suggest to people who are like maybe not really into horror because I feel like it's like a good gateway horror movie. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like
Absolutely.
it's not like super super scary. There's not a lot of gore. It's funny, it's heartfelt, and so I feel like this is a good example to someone who's like, oh, I'm too scared to watch, this or that. I think this would be perfect.
I agree. And I think it has just the right tone of sweetness, of
Mm-hmm.
humor, of some vampire action. Also, I don't think the budget was huge on this movie, but you couldn't tell. Like they
Yeah.
did a really good job of making, I'm assuming they shot it all in one place. I mean
Mm-hmm.
one state,
Like,
but
yeah.
this was a road trip movie, and who doesn't love a road trip movie? And they did a really good job of making it look like they were in different places.
Yeah, I think so. It was kind of fun to watch. I love a road trip movie. And I was thinking about my friend the other day was saying, she's like, "Oh, we were talking about Christmas movies." And she's like, "Oh, I wish there were more Christmas movies where like romance wasn't like the main plot." Which I disagree. I always will take romance as the main plot. But I was like, this movie is about father and daughter relationships. And I just thought that was really cool and different. And I don't know, it just made for like something different, because vampires obviously have been like done to hell. Um, and it's a trope that I'm not necessarily, vampires are not my favorite. Like, I like vampires, but like, in my list of like monsters and baddies, it's not my top one. Some people like, will watch anything with vampires. For me, I need like a little bit more to kind of get me interested. And for this one, obviously knowing that it was a comedy, but also just that really sincere and interesting father daughter relationship was just so good.
I agree. And
Yeah.
it was like we've had, parent relationship movies before, but
Mm-hmm.
how often do we get a father-daughter, first of all?
Mm-hmm.
And how often do we get it in a horror comedy? I mean,
I
come
know.
on.
I know. It's very clever. I think so. The guy starring in it directed and wrote it, right?
I'm gonna
Am I
look
right
it up right
with
now.
that? Okay. Noah Sagan or something. Um, I'm pretty sure he did. But anyway, and I thought it was just a very very clever concept, and I thought the dialogue was very good, and the idea that they kind of like were playing upon our knowledge of vampires. Everybody knows, it's like zombies. Like everybody knows the rules, so they're able to sort of play within that space, and just kind of like make fun of some of the tropes. I love he's sleeping in the car with the newspaper. Was I right? Did he write and
Yeah,
direct it?
yes.
Okay. Okay, thank God. Obviously the Josh Rubin cameo was amazing and goofy and silly, and I loved it.
Hilarious.
Yeah, like this idea that he got glamored too hard by the vampire, and so he's crazy now. I love that. Um, yeah, just
Also,
so good.
what I was gonna say, I was about to just make a case for that. I make this case every week that horror actors or actors in horror movies need to be awarded. If you
Yeah.
get Shudder, you can watch the Chainsaw Awards put on by Fangoria. Fangoria
Oh,
doesn't
that's
sponsor us either, but get it, friends.
That's true. Yes, for sure. Yeah, I love the daughter in this. I thought she was very like uh dynamic and interesting. And I told you, I said, from my viewpoint, it was interesting because I'm Jewish by blood, but not by culture or religion. And I don't know the Jewish part of my family. And so there was kind of a poignancy to her, like looking through his pictures and kind of like, learning. I mean, obviously she knows about the Holocaust, but sort of making that personal connection and everything. And it kind of touched me in a way because, that's something that like I haven't really been able to connect to just because I don't have the Jewish family members in my like life, but yeah, so that was kind of cool, and I connected to that, and I thought it was really important, just representation.
I also think, it's that theme is universal because a lot of teenagers or
Mm-hmm.
younger preteen, however their attitudes roll, think that their parents are so lame or their grandparents. And
Yeah.
then to connect on a level of like, oh, they were once like me, or they had these life experiences that are different than mine,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still valid. I think it can speak to everybody in that sense. And that's really also this isn't a horror movie, a horror comedy, and yet we're talking about deep things. And
I
I'm saying
know.
that we can. If you're
Yeah,
listening to this, you already know.
I know. Well, and I love the mix of it all. You feel like it's so sincere. It's not like this is goofy, or like, even though it's funny and it's a comedy, everything is done sincerely. All the relationships are sincere, and I really really appreciated that. I think the tone was just spot on. And I mean, it's like less than 90 minutes. I think it was like 84 minutes or something. So it just really zipped along. And like, what a delightful movie, to watch and just, I don't know, get lost in that world. It was a really fun experience. And I don't know, maybe it opened my eyes. Maybe I'll try more vampire movies.
Oh, there you go. Yes, I recommend this. I think I can't remember what it's rated, but it wasn't over the top anything inappropriate. So I'm
No.
definitely gonna rewatch it with Campbell.
Yeah, I was thinking he might like that. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Good.
I'm segueing because I need to know, did you watch the Chucky season finale?
No, not yet.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I
okay.
suck. I suck.
Get
Okay, that's on the agenda.
get on it because I was so thrilled because it was
Hmm.
so everything.
I'm gonna
And
watch it right after this.
do it. It's so good. And it's a Christmas themed episode. And
Good.
it was trending yesterday on Twitter to renew Chucky for season three. It hasn't been renewed yet, but it needs to be. Thank
Well,
you.
they better.
It's
Let's not
it's
joke about it not being
so
a,
speaking of horror comedies, it's freaking perfect.
yes. And with earnestness,
Yes,
like with really good relationships and stuff. So
exactly.
yeah.
They're teaching. It's always a teaching
Yes.
moment.
Yes. Yes.
Speaking of that, I know you're not finished with it yet, but we will talk about it on an upcoming episode. We started Wednesday together. I finished it when I got home,
Yes.
and you're continuing. Again, earnest
Yeah.
comedy,
Yeah.
horror. Like, what else do
Yeah.
you want?
I know. Actually, my favorite thing is that I can watch it with my kids in the house. There's so many things that I'm like, oh, I have to wait till they're at school or they're asleep or whatever. But I'm like, I can watch Wednesday and it's going to be okay. So actually, that's been great. But yeah, no, I mean, I want to be Wednesday. I've always wanted to be Wednesday. I
Yes.
mean, I felt like when I was growing up, I very much, it was her and Lydia.
Hmm.
And I mean, they're just imprinted on my heart, the characters. And so, and I love, like, the thing is, I like the Addams Family movies. I wouldn't say I love the Addams Family movies. I mean, I liked them when I was a kid. Um, but I actually am appreciating the tone of this better. Just it's more my sense of humor and more my thing. But I guess this is not an episode about Wednesday. We will save it for when I actually finish it. Oh, and I'm gonna go see a movie today because it's
What do you
cheap movie
think?
tickets today. I'm gonna go see The Menu this
Very
afternoon.
nice.
So yeah, have you seen that yet?
Not yet, but I also
Okay.
was looking at show times for today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Violent Night comes out on Thursday, and I really want to see
But
that.
oh,
Violent Night,
is that the
David
one?
Harbour.
Oh, okay.
David Harbour
Yes.
Santa movie.
Okay, I might have to see that
And
too.
they're calling it a thriller, so
Okay, so we're gonna cover it here
yeah.
then.
That's what I'm telling you.
I had kind of a shameful moment yesterday, I have to admit. So I was making dinner last night and I put on, I got a new TV. So I normally I don't even like have the TV on when I'm making dinner, but I was like, I just want something on the background. And I've stopped watching the news because it's too depressing. So I put on Hallmark and there was like a love movie on. And Fox came in and he's like, "Are you watching this?" Kelly, I lied. I said, I'm watching it ironically.
Oh, Meg.
Because I want my 15-year-old to think I'm cool.
Oh no.
And then he like walked away and I was like, oh my God, that was a lie. I actually was like earnestly watching it. So, but we contain multitudes. I love the goriest horror, but I like a hand holding in a snow scenario too. So
Oh.
but I shouldn't have lied. So I'm gonna have to just I think he's gonna figure it out when he sees me watching it like more this season that
Yeah.
it's not ironic anymore. But
Yeah.
anyway, this is what happens when you have a teenager and you want to be cool. So this all goes back to blood relatives
Yes.
and
So
him trying to be a good dad.
speaking of blood relatives, I can't I probably mentioned it already, but I've watched it like four more times since then. I recommend because we can contain multitudes and I've watched it with my family. I recommend Spirited, the musical
Yeah.
on Apple Plus. And we also watched a movie filmed here in Duluth called Mary Kiss Cam, and that's in the
Oh
Hallmark
yeah,
vein,
it
except
is. I
it's
think it's a little better.
yeah. So
You know. Yeah, Mary Kiss Cam was made in Duluth and it's very much like in Duluth. Like they talk about all the Duluth stuff. So I thought it was really well done and it was fun to watch from that perspective. And I really liked the main lady. I
yeah.
don't know her name, but yeah, I thought that was a cute one. And Spirited is really good. Oh my God, the singing and dancing and all of it.
Ugh.
So love, love, love. Yeah, that's excellent. And so when my friend said the other day, I need a Christmas movie where romance isn't the main plot, I'm like, well, then you have to watch Spirited, because it's not. And it actually kind of made me think of blood relatives in the sense that we know the story of Christmas Carol so well that they are able to play within those tropes in that world because
Exactly.
I mean, pretty much, I would assume nearly everyone knows the story. So it's kind of like vampires that way.
Exactly. See,
Mhm.
we can tie it all together.
We can tie it all together, and that's why we do this for a living.
Okay, we're gonna rank Blood Relatives on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being you hated it. 10, it's a perfect movie. I think our scale has to be like the newspaper car. Like I love when he's like riding with like the blanket around him. Like I just think that's
Oh,
funny. That's
yeah,
comedy.
yeah.
Okay, how many
Um,
newspaper up cards do you give Blood Relatives?
I'm gonna give it an 8. I thought it was excellent. The only reason I'm docking it is just because I'm a horror slut, and I could have used like maybe a little more frightening aspects, make it a little scarier, kind of like Shaun of the Dead, which is like there's still some scary moments in that. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm docking it.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Also, I thought you were about to say that you're a gore whore, and so go watch Chucky immediately and then text me after.
I'll wear my gore horror hat.
Well, I'm serious, Meg. There's a scene I was screaming laughing. You're not
Oh,
even
I'm
gonna
so
you're gonna
excited.
love it so much. Just
I'm
wait.
gonna put it on while I'm folding laundry. So
Okay, this is not a spoiler. It's just something that happens.
okay.
Chucky is looking through a Christmas catalog.
Oh, Chucky.
That's all I'll
Chucky. I want to
say.
buy him clothes. I need to buy Chucky little clothes. I want little cute clothes for him.
Now, I know Campbell's not listening, but when Chucky is arriving today at my house, and
Oh,
so just get ready because every time you come over, I mean, after Christmas, we can dress him up. We'll take
Oh my
photos. There's going to be
God.
multiple photo shoots.
Oh my God. I just want to cuddle with him and
I know.
watch a movie with him.
I know.
I hope Camel doesn't mind lending him out.
Maybe
Oh,
I'll just change the tag on the Christmas present. It'll just say Meg and Kelly because we need to
yeah,
share
good
his fun.
idea. You should like, I'm trying to think how you could set him up so he looks scary. Like when he wakes up Christmas morning and like Chucky is like,
Oh.
holding a knife, one of your kitchen knives or something.
Yeah. It's like the Elf on the Shelf, except it's Chucky.
Yeah. Oh, I like
I like
this.
it too. I think
This
that's
is
better than
something.
Elf on the Shelf
It is.
because it's
I'm
gonna like get your kids to behave.
Oh, that reminds me, I have to get that fucker out.
Ugh,
Because
disgusting.
now we've stuck with it. Now I have to keep doing it. Although I have to say, Dexter lost a tooth uh, a day or two ago, and he, I just said, "Oh, put it over there," and he put it over there. And then last night, I'm like, "Are you gonna put it under the pillow for Tooth Fairy?" He's like, "No, it's right next to your credit card. That'll work." So I think that means he doesn't believe in the Tooth Fairy. I think that's where we're at.
Sorry if we just broke the news to anybody out there.
Yeah, sorry everyone.
Speaking of creepy tooth fairies, think about that Channel Zero guy made of teeth.
Ooh, that show is so underrated.
I know, I love it.
I know. I keep meaning to rewatch it, but there's too much new content.
I know.
Yeah,
Okay, we need to go watch some stuff. So until next
I
time, we'll
gotta
see
go
you in the
watch
horror
Chuck.
section.
Okay, bye.
Bye.